Hey everybody, Joe B here. You won't want to miss this episode of Wing Ways. We've got Tyler Waguespack right here on Wild Rides TV, and we're going to talk steer wrestling. When people think of Tyler Waguespack, steer wrestler, right? And then this is what makes me laugh. And then they see you, the first thing you say, well, he's not big enough. It's so much more than size, your event. Been in the finals 7 times, 6, 7, 8 times now. Won the world. Gonna be how many? 6, 7, 8 by the time we're through. Got 3 under your belt. Won the average a couple times. People ought to know by now, Wags, that size has nothing to do with it when you have the technique you have.
Growing up, that's what we've always taught. It's the big man's event.
Right.
And the more and more you look at cattle now are getting smaller, they're getting faster.
They are.
Horsepower's having to change so much as well.
Yep.
Me and Oak Bear used to always argue about it. He'd always say, the Cadillac of my day was different than the Cadillac of this generation, And he's right. The Cadillac of their day could score like a rock, was going to give you the same go every time, whereas the Cadillac of our day are the scooters or
the ones that blasted across there getting your feet.
They're track stars trying to run, because the cattle that we're running, they're weighing 100 pounds less.
That's right.
There's some athletic bred little things. So it's bringing a smaller cow in, and it's making it to where the athletes are the ones winning now instead of just the big brutes stopping them. Steer stopping,
hooking nose, laying them down.
Yeah.
And I was lucky enough to, I guess like in the mid 80s, right there in the mid, I got to rodeo and I got to see John W. Jones. He wasn't that big, but he had technique, and he could play with you guys now probably. But a lot of the guys, it's such a different form than it was then, that it's like you said, it's almost. And I'm not saying it's almost a different event.
Well, it's the same as anything. You got to adapt or die.
No, you're for sure right.
In the Camper Open, before Roy Cooper stepped off to the right, everybody thought he was crazy.
Yep.
Now you got to.
Yep.
It's the same thing. Every event's just gradually evolving. That's why we're getting faster in every event. There's getting better bucking stock, better timed event cattle. Everything is gradually progressing.
Everybody, when you win one, says, oh, well, either he was lucky or yeah, it was his time, or, well, that was his week. It worked out there that week. But when you come back and you double hit them, and then you get your triple, and you're looking at a long career still left, that's when, to me, it means that guy has put in the work. That guy has done all he needs to do to be the best he can be, because you're not going to have a good year every year. But when you do, you have to be able to capitalize, and you've done that 3 times.
Absolutely. The work never stops. Whether we're out on the road.
Wait a minute. Say that again. That's what's wrong with kids today. The guys think it's going to be easy to win, and you just said it. The work never stops.
Yeah.
Not if you want to be a world champion.
Yeah, like I say, that. Kids today think it's just handed to them, but you got to sit there, buckle down, because the work will never stop. Whenever we get off the road, we're straight in the practice pen. If we're out there going and we're having a lot of success and everything's going good, we're still finding places we can go to practice, because we need to sharpen ourselves up. My dad always told me, like I said, whenever I started off, I was small.
Yeah.
And he said, if you outwork them, you can beat them. And it turns out he was right, because I feel like I don't think there's anybody out there that run more steers in the practice pen than I have in the 31 years that I've been bit bull logging. Like I say, since I was a little bitty kid, we have always practiced just extremely hard. And if somebody comes over to the house to practice with me, I've been like it the whole time. I don't mean to look arrogant whenever I do it, but I'm going to be the peacock in the practice pen.
Yep.
Everybody's going to know that I'm there, whether I got to run more steers than you, whether I got to run the hog that you don't want
to throw down.
Anything that I can do that who owns the pen.
But don't you think that comes from the work ethic that your dad installed in you when you were that big, hooking up to a longhorn calf?
Oh, absolutely.
Don't you think that's where it comes from?
Absolutely. Whenever I was little, Dad used to buy longhorn calves, and we'd take PVC pipe across their head.
To make me enough
so I had enough horn that I could throw them. So like I say, I was so small, it's the only way we could get an animal small enough that I could throw down. But every day we was in the practice pen, and he'd tape them horns up every day, had that PVC pipe, cut it off in the afternoons, kick them back out in the grass.
And look at you now. Yep. Look where you're at. It's paid off. Like I said, 3 times. I like to think on my shows we have the guys that have been the stars, that have earned it and have made it, and the guys that are going to be the ones in the record books at some point. It's a personal opinion, and everybody has them, whatever they can do with them, but my opinion is there's no way to stop you from getting the record. There's no way that you can't set the record on world championships in the steer wrestling. I think that could be hard to touch later. You've got the technique, you've got the work ethic, You're smart about horses. You get on what's the best one for the situation, and you're 31 years old, and there's no way to stop.
I say I always go back to when I was younger. We used to always go to different bulldogging clinics and schools, and Mr. Tom Corney.
Pick here, there, pick there.
Yes, he's done tremendous things for me as far as in the bulldogging, especially all the fine tuning deals. And for any kids that want to start bulldogging, I'd say that's the man to go to. I mean, he's a step above the rest with all that kinds of stuff. Well, we used to do a deal where he would talk to every kid out there, and one always, before every clinic ever started, always want to talk about what their goals were. And whether he would always sit, their kids would come up, they want to make the high school finals. They want to win the high school finals. They want to be an NFR qualifier. They want to win a gold buckle. And it got up to me, and I'm sitting there thinking, golly, I'd like to do everything that all those guys do. But I said, if I got to set a goal, I got to set it higher. And I was, like I said, I was probably 12, 13 years old. And they sit there, a whole group of people. And I said, I said, growing up, I said, I always hear John W. Jones, Oakberry, Roy Duval, all these guys' names. I said, I want y'all to forget about them. I said,
I want you to know me.
I said, whenever I get done rodeoing, I said, you don't say, he bulldogs like John W. did back in the day. He don't bulldog like Oakberry did.
You say this guy bulldogs like Tyler Reddick.
Exactly.
That's what you were looking.
I want to be one step above the rest whenever I'm totally done. And like I told them, I said, if that's what it takes, all these gold buckles, NFR qualifications, all that kind of stuff, that's all in the cards already. If I'm gonna get to where I want to be, I've got to get.
But you had and I don't mean this in any bad way, but I always told him, I said, a heart of a champion is gonna beat a little bit longer after you're dead, maybe thinking you might get back up, and that's what is in you. You've been touched, God touched you with an ability, and whether you use it or not was up to you and Mike and them Longhorn cats. But when you did, that's why your goal is so much higher than everybody else's. Because that heart of a champion says, I want him to know, I want him to think your little boys play and be like Tyler.
Exactly.
Not like John W. Still or Roy or, whoever, just I want him to be me.
Exactly.
Yep.
Yeah, I like I say, I want to be a step above the idols.
Growing up, and I mean, like, when I just remember when I first started seeing down some of the things down there in the amateur and the college, I got to watching stuff on TV. I always said that, to me, somewhere along the line, it was very important about a head catch and setting your feet, because you did that on big steers, little steers, stoppers. I thought you had a good head catch on stoppers I'd seen, as a kid. Was that something you and your dad worked on constantly?
Dad would buy any little 2-cent horse that we could find. Just whenever I was going, we would have 4 or 5 bulldogging horses at a time. Wouldn't have no money in them whatsoever. Right. We'd have a good horse we'd bring to the rodeo. Whenever it was time to go to the practice pen, anything that we could get to go by.
If he would go by the steer, you was running.
Absolutely. And it may be a fast go by, just your horse may duck left, may want to cut you off right. Any of that kinds of stuff, we would just run, junk pretty much. Yeah. Nothing that would hurt
you. But it was
to
get the runs. But it was to learn how to catch them, wasn't it?
It was so that there was no way possible that a steer could throw something at you that you wasn't ready for. Yeah. Whenever we would go to shoot dogging and stuff like that, we would go in the big arena and shoot dog. But if we had something wild, crazy, and out of the ordinary, we put it in a round pin. It's ducking and diving off of the corners.
Off the corners, yeah.
And you know how to move your body, position it to get a good throw out of them. And whenever you get to where you can throw a steer that's walking or ducking and diving and backing up and all that kind of stuff and can make his momentum come around and hit, well, it don't matter what kind of go you get out in the road.
You can make him hit and get the flag.
Hit, you know where it's at.
Yeah. There's a difference between making them hit and laying them down, to me. And it's about half a second. Am I right?
Oh, yeah,
I mean, absolutely. To me, I tell them all the time in here, you can watch. If you're up over them and you really got them bringing them back around, and at the right time when you hook up and you see them you watch, that flag man's watching. Oh, yeah. And when you catch and your feet hit dead and you got him halfway brought around and you reach under to get him, you also watch him. He's got him caught way back waiting to see if he hits.
Absolutely. The young guys that stay at the house right now in practice, we talk about it all the time. They'll make a really good run on the cow and they'll roll him down his back. Yep. And we'll tell him, the difference is if you can get down there, get all of the nose, direct the nose out to get him to pop whenever he hits, it's going to be the difference between winning first at the rodeo and fourth at the rodeo.
And that's a big difference.
That depends on what rodeo. Yeah.
That could cost you a world championship. Absolutely. Right here very easily. And if you're running for your old buckle and you're trying to win a world championship, people have no idea how important the little things are. First, it's not the big things that cost a guy that if you're battling it out. Is it? It's a little thing.
Every time. So, the guys that make the NFR every year, hats off to the 15 guys that are going to be here this year. These are the guys that can go and take the steer that you're supposed to maybe not place on, and they can go in there and get your 4th, 5th, and 6th place checks. In our event, like I say, it's probably, I would say, to walk up and go get lucky and win a check, we're probably the easiest timed event to do it. Nobody's going to accidentally tie a calf and home sick.
I get you. I get you. Yep.
But you can take a college kid, maybe don't know too much about bulldogging, and hit the super pooch behind the head.
And he's going to hit.
He can be 4 flat.
He's going to hit. That's right. I agree with you.
But the guys that can go out there and win 4th, 5th, and 6th are the guys that are mentally prepared and have all their ducks in a row.
Those are the guys that you have to beat.
Exactly.
And that's where a guy like you, a guy like Luke and John W. and everybody's got a lot of buckles, but that's the difference. You guys know how to make those hit to win 2nd and 3rd instead of 4th and 5th. That's the difference maker to me and you guys and everybody else. I do think this. I think guys like you. I think we're very lucky at this point to have some guys giving back, because steer wrestling, where for a while was a dying breed. And now the numbers are back good. You've seen them come back in the high school regions, in Texas, and where you're only getting 2 or 3 in each region,
Oh, I know. I talk to Oatberry about it all the time. I hate to give him credit for it.
Don't even start with it.
Oat's one of my best friends. This is so hard for me to give him credit, but
let's don't pat him on the back.
Yeah, but for what he's doing for like the younger kids and stuff like that, it's opening up so many doors. So many kids now have an opportunity to go out and win something, and that's going to put them in the practice pen and make them want to drive. I mean, that's going to make parents want to go out there and put more time in if they know they're going to get something back,
Do you think that when you make it to the top level, okay, do you think a lot of guys, or do you feel like a lot of guys back off too much?
No, I don't think guys back off. I've talked to several guys that have always worked hard and finally do get it. I mean, you look at Dirk Tavener.
Yep.
Rodeo. Several years.
Yep.
Several years out there. Has always been a great bulldogger.
Yep.
Whenever he finally cracked into the top 15.
Different guy.
It's like a mental game. It's like you finally prove to yourself you're good enough.
Here right now.
It gets to where you don't back it. I mean, guys that going out there like your Will Loomises, Ty Erickson, those guys, they back in the box. You can watch all the other bulldoggers. Everybody's popping up and seeing what they're going to do. They're expecting them to win.
Yep.
Whenever you finally put yourself in that position, that gives you a whole lot of confidence back in the box, because everybody else is already thinking you're going to win.
They're watching.
Yeah. So, you're not trying to beat the door down.
I think last year, you're exactly right. I'm telling you, that's a different guy. I mean, that's the same guy still wrestling. That's not the same guy when he nods his head.
No, absolutely
that's a different. He has a different look in his face. He gets off the ground different. I mean, he's bouncing up ready. All of a sudden, Tyler Waguespack don't scare him.
No.
And before, it might have been just a little bit, I should have, not anymore. And when you reach that's what I'm saying, when you reach that pinnacle, I guess, when you get to that spot, steer wrestling has so many little things. To me, it's like the tie down rope. There's so many little pieces, moving pieces that have to be just right for the run to be perfect. You can't ever back off from it, can you? I don't think. Now, you don't have to run 40 a day like you used to run. Don't get me wrong.
What do you mean used to?
Well, you maybe need to start running 35, okay? But you have to run them to keep it all working, don't you?
Absolutely. You gotta keep everything sharp.
See, I used to argue. I used to argue with people like they tell me, when I got crippled, and I mean, I was older, and I didn't have much body left. And then you need to quit practicing, you need to quit roping. How do I keep everything going if I don't do it? So I felt like I still had to, until I couldn't rope anymore.
Well, that's like you asked about the guys, if they get to the top, if they back off.
Yeah.
As soon as they back off is when they're going to get beat. Whenever you quit working at it, somebody else is working. Like I said, you got to work harder than the man next to you.
Yep.
Whoever's working the hardest is going to be the guys that stay up there at the top. So, yeah, just because you finally do make it. I mean, like I say, whenever I won the gold buckle the first time, 2016, I'm walking down the hall, and my dad is coming walking straight to me.
Yeah.
I said, Dad, we did it.
Yeah. Yes.
He pushes the gold buckle away. He said, if you'd have got over the dang inside point, you'd have gone too. I said, golly, we finally made it. And here we are. But listen, he's right.
But listen, that's what made you what you are.
Oh, yeah.
My mother was that way. I remember I won place in 5 or 6 rounds and 1/3 average or something one year, and she was like, if you'd have strung that one kid in 5th round, you probably won a buckle. And I was like, it's hard to take, but they're right. But they know we deep down be that person doesn't make that mistake.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
Okay, let's jump back. When you win your first gold buckle, from being that kid that when Tom Gordon come around asking everybody that, and you had these higher expectations than anybody else, when you won that first gold buckle, what was that feeling of all built up to that you've heard all your life about them winners and them world champions, and all of a sudden they give it to you?
It was like, and I go back like Tom, but I got to go back to Dad. Me and Dad has always talked about, the harder you work, the better it's going to be.
Yep.
Like Dad always said, he said a 10 head average. He said, just sit back and think about that. How many guys can go to 10 straight rodeos and keep that momentum going? And that's what we go in the practice pen to work for. And like you say, that perfect run or making those perfect little moves in your run to have all your ducks in a row pretty much. Well, you know, that year I won the first go round. And as soon as I won the first go round, every night I was further away from second place. Every night we just kept going and going and going. And we had a talk day. We went back in the office during the 9th round, figured everything out. I could have scored the steer and won the gold buckle. And that's what we sit back, told Dad about that, you know, and all that kind of stuff. And he talks about, man, he said, how good does that feel, you know, that we won?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Y'all worked so hard for it, and all of a sudden, it's yours, and you know it's yours.
Yeah, so like I said, we put so many years into it to get to where we are, and he said, here we are, we can walk across the finish line. He said, we put forth that much time, that much effort to get to where we are now. He said, man, winning's fun now. You know,
that's right.
All that.
And you know, but it's because you wanted it that bad. And if a person wants it, Tyler, they can be anything, can't they?
Oh, absolutely. Like I say, anything you put your mind to, you can dang sure do it. Like I say, I've got a young man at the house right now. He graduated high school, Cash Rob. He's the guy, if I had to put money on it, he's gonna be a guy that's gonna be in this building very soon here. But he graduated high school, lives in Altamont, Utah. He calls us up. He wants to get further along in his bulldogging. He got all online classes. He lives in Gonzales, Louisiana right now. And whenever we wake up in the morning, he's got the pin drug and the horse is saddled. He's ready to go at all times. And the young man's having a ton of success right now in all the junior deals. Just bought his rookie card right now, and he's in the top 5 in the world, you know, as soon as he buys his new card, you know. And he's...
But that's because of what you could do. It's like I said, we don't maybe just per se teach them, but we're going to perfect them.
Absolutely.
And that's what you're doing with him.
We've got the opportunity on the table for him right now, and as much as he wants it, he can get all he wants. So if he wants to get to the level that he wants to be at, he's got to put in the work.
He can do it. What about the future of our rodeo business? Is different. The future looks so much brighter than, say, when you first got in. I can go back 20 years and say, but I mean, you've got opportunities now. TV's helped the sponsors immensely, I think.
Yes.
The rodeos are paying more. They're adding more. They're easier to work. The two headers are back to back. I mean, there's some people argue different ways, but rodeo's a good place to be right now, isn't it?
Absolutely. It's slowly growing. Well, I'd say slowly. The last couple of years, it's been dang sure growing.
Yeah.
But I mean, hats off to like what the Cowboy Channel's doing right now. And like you said, so many new sponsors are coming in, giving opportunities to get more money in our events and stuff like that. And I mean, as long as if our sport keeps growing, you know, I mean, it's got a place to go.
Yeah.
And it is growing at a very good pace right now, and I look forward to it the next 10 years. I'm excited to see what it's going to be here in the next 10 years. You're getting rodeo fans that never knew anything about rodeo in places around this country that don't even have rodeos, but they're able to build up a fan base now.
Yeah.
And I mean, that's tremendous to keep this sport alive.
I liked what you said about I don't get to call home and tell them what I did. Most of the time they call me and it's a fact.
Absolutely.
You know, you can make a run, and by the time you get back out and get your phone, there's 4 people calling.
Absolutely.
They've already seen it. You know, they're either bragging on you or talking about how you messed up. You know? But it's kind of a cool deal to be in that time of rodeo.
Yeah. No, like I say, it's growing so much that now. Before, I mean, I had 2 gold buckles a couple years back, and you go to my hometown, nobody knew who I was.
Yep.
You cross the Sabine River, where rodeo actually is out in Texas, and go out further west. People know what rodeo is.
Right.
Back home in Louisiana, they didn't know what it was.
Right.
Well, now, I mean, if you go to the grocery store, people's like, "Hey, man, good job saying on TV the other day."
That's right.
Stuff like that. They just, people are getting to where they're being fans of it. And, you know, we've got cowboys all across this country, but if rodeo is not where you are, it's hard to have the fan base. Well, now, with it being on the Cowboy Channel on TV, it's putting rodeo everywhere. It's opening up to where a lot of little towns and stuff are wanting to put on a rodeo because there is so many fans for it.
You've rodeoed with some good guys. You've steer wrestlers, and I've said this a long time. They are truly, to me, truly caring and more of a tight-knit bunch than the other events. I mean, most of the guys truly mean good run when you just beat them.
Yeah.
You know what? And you don't see that a lot anymore.
No, the camaraderie is amazing. And I mean, like with the crew of guys that we're with, our goals every year is that all 4 of us are at the national final. It's a great problem to have. We got to compete against our buddies at the NFL.
Yeah. But y'all truly mean it, and you help each other, and it's visible. You know what I mean? It's visible to sit back and watch.
It doesn't matter if I throw one in 3 or if I miss the super pooch out in the middle of Reno, Nevada. I get up, I'm running to the side, I'm helping the next man in my crew to get ready to win.
Yep.
You know, like I said, we all want to be at the national finals at the end of the year, and we want everybody to hate to see our truck pull up the rodeo. That's two things that.
And you can tell even like places like the national finals or Houston or San Antonio where the camera, kind of, floats across the box where, the guys waiting to compete or the guys just competed. You never see a negative vibe from the guy to the next one, Well, hey, if you were supposed to push my calf, me and you were rowing together roping calves, you just missed or break the barrier, I better find somebody else because you're going to be gone, So it's kind of a fun deal to get to see.
Absolutely. No, like you're pushing, you're getting the hit, all that kind of stuff. I mean, we take it to heart if there's some type of mistake or if there's a broke barrier and stuff. No matter if I took a dumb start, I know that the buddy of mine that was pushing for me, he'll apologize.
Just doing all he could. He was still gonna say sorry, Wags.
Yeah, I tried my best, and we know that.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's a heck of a, like I said, back to that confidence thing. Whenever you tighten up, they call your name out, and you're riding in, and here's a couple other bad son of a guns running up to the chute because they're making sure everything's taken care of.
A shield done it, kind of like, hey.
Absolutely, you never have to worry. This entire year, I never had to ask anybody to push my steer. Never have to ask them to get a hit.
Yeah.
Because you know that they're all there. They're gonna have it taken care of. And back to us as well. Whenever we're not running, we're right there ready to help.
The winner and a champion figures out how to win.
They're gonna get through it. Yeah.
Hit on that because that's how I feel.
Yeah, we're always gonna find a way to win. Like I say, it doesn't matter if I don't have the best steer. Hey, I'm all right with going to a one header, not having the best steer, and getting by it.
Yep.
But if I go to a 2 and 3 head, I know I've got 4 opportunities for money at a 3 header. I've got all 3 rounds plus the average. You're gonna have a hard time keeping me out of it.
As rodeos evolve, there's more tapes to watch. There's more clinics to go. There's more guys like you that are approachable to get the help. You can learn so much from a guy that's a champion from here up without even watching it from here down.
I wish so many more guys looked at the mental aspect. Like I said, you can go in the practice pen. You can learn how to make every steer out there hit.
Yep.
But winning and bulldogging is 2 totally different things. You can be the greatest bulldogger in the world. A winner will figure out a way to beat you.
Yes, sir.
Guys, I mean, a lot of guys hate watching the standings at the finals. They hate watching the average. They hate doing all that kind of stuff. This is my business.
I'm gonna watch it.
I know where you're sitting in the average. I know how many.
I'm the same way. I never understood that. Have you?
I don't.
Why would you not watch what determines how much money you're going to make? You know what I mean?
Whenever it happened to me twice last year at the NFR. I had the best year on. I mean, pumped up, happy. I'm not pumped up, happy because I'm going to win the round. If they give me the opportunity, don't think I won't take it.
But you're happy because you know you'll get money.
They're giving me.
They're going to give you money.
Rounds where there's 3-3 winning first and 4 flat winning second, and you got the best one on them. I mean, just.
Pride doesn't pay any more being 3-2 if you break the barrier.
No.
3-5 is going to win that good. 25,000, 21,000.
Absolutely. Last year I won first in 2 rounds, but I won top 4 in I think 7 of them.
Yeah, that's a big difference.
That's a whole lot better than. I mean, that 3-3 is winning first, and you got the best steer. Yeah, I can probably beat 3-2 on this steer, but why take the gamble?
What is the victory lap worth a gamble to take you out and look the rest of the time?
They're trying to give me 21,000 to do my job.
And see, to me, don't you think, though, I always wanted to know. I want to know where everybody's at. I want to know where I need to win to keep, or if I got a chance. And in the average, I want to know. Because if I got one that's really good and I need to move up, I'm going to try to move up that night. And if he's terrible, like you said at Denver, I want to get by him so they don't pass me in the average.
Last year, after the finals, or during the finals, we were doing interviews because it was me and Will Loomis were neck to neck.
Yeah, right, sure.
And everybody's sitting there saying, man, it's a one-header, you and Will. I said, I ain't looking at it right. I said, I don't have to beat Will.
Nope.
I said, Will can win the round. That's fine with me. I said, me and Rowdy's tied.
Yep.
For the average.
If you get ahead of Rowdy Perry in that spot, it was going to take you enough money to where.
And like I said, y'all are looking at it all wrong. You're putting the pressure on the wrong people.
And they were trying. And if you listen to them, then you pressure yourself into maybe making a mistake for no reason.
Absolutely. If I don't sit back and realize where everything's at, and Will goes out there and makes a really, really good run.
Yep.
Now, golly, now I got to start pushing things that I don't necessarily have to push.
Yeah. But I think that part of the game is what we all talk. And I tell my clinics all the time, you compete from here down, you win from here up. And if it doesn't matter how talented from here down, if you don't have something from here up that can, just if nothing else, not beat yourself with, you're not going to be successful in this sport. I'm sorry. In any event, it doesn't matter if it's bronc riding, bareback riding, it does not matter. You have got to be able to think yourself through a run, don't you?
Absolutely. And the guys that are going to make it every year, They're the guys that are smart and they don't make the mistakes.
Yep.
I mean, like I say, the man that makes the least amount of mistakes in the Thomas and Mack this next week is going to be the man to win the average. I mean,
Yep.
It happens.
And the man that wins the most is going to win a world championship right there.
Yes, sir.
And I don't see any way in the world that they keep Tyler Waguespack from winning. I'm going to say 4 more. And you go out with 7, you're gonna be that guy that everybody wants to be. That little boy told Tom Carney, no, I'm not gonna be all these guys. I want to talk about Tyler Wag.
Absolutely. Like I say, if I could get one more is good with me. I'd like to get as many of them as I can.
I tell you what, I'll put it this way: you'll get them as long as you want to rodeo and you want to get work at it, because you're 31 years old and you're not hurt, and you like to win. Winning's a challenge to you because of what Mike did as a boy coming up. You know, he wouldn't let you do the wrong things, and y'all worked at it hard. You know, I'd let you off with 5, but I don't see no reason you could win 7.
Well, like I say, I'd love to keep everything going the exact same way I have. We're steadily, even as I am right now with everything that I have won, I feel like I'm still steadily progressing. Like I say, I keep everything as tuned as I can in the practice spin. Like you say, from here down,
Yep.
I feel like the mental game is always getting stronger.
Yep.
So I mean, like I say, I'd love to be able to sit out here and go for 10 more years if I can.
Well, we'll just do this interview again in about 5 years, and we'll see how many you got then.
Yeah, there you go. There you go.
All right.
If I don't come limping in here, we're gonna be
Hey,
good.
I don't care if you got a chance with 1 more, you can limp on in here. Go.
Oh yeah, we're gonna try them all.
All right. Thanks for being with us. This episode had the world champion, Tyler Waguespack, on Wild Rides TV, Winning Ways with Joe B.